Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkrvatam ham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Pramanandamadam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. So we'll sing the Shikshashtakam text one at least, and then we will take the part Vidyavadhu Jivanam today. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापणं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधू जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधेवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम्. So we have seen that how the overview of Shikshashtakam, how this 8 verses flow, and then we have seen how this is Cheto Darpana Marjanam, how it cleanses our heart and our consciousness. And then we have seen Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, how the forest fire like desires and our material existence extinguishes with this Harinam. And then we have seen Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, how our consciousness blossoms through the holy name. Now today we will see Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. So we will see one word like Vidya means transcendental knowledge and Vadhu means wife or bride. Jivanam means enlivened or come to life or manifest. Right. So generally Lord has only one potency. Right. But that has multiple functions. That is why we say like Lord has internal potency and external potency. Internal potency is Yoga Maya, that is Swarupa Shakti, and the other one is external potency, that is Mahamaya. So just like in a car, we have the same instrument that gives us cooling and heat, right? When you switched in another way, then the AC will on and the car will be cool. And in another mode, what it will do? It will heat up the car. So it will make the car warm, right? So Lord has one potency only, but different functions, right? So our Acharya says that the different functions are letting us know that it is multiple, but in general, it is only one. In actual, it is only one potency. So today, what is happening is this Antarangika Shakti, the potency that can get us closer to Krishna, that is not active in our heart, right? But the potency that can take us away from Krishna, that is Mahamaya, is very active in our heart. So the Vidya, what we are talking about, is that Antarangika Shakti or that transcendental knowledge that can actually take us closer to Krishna. Right now, today, our avidya is active, Vidya is not active. So, avidya is so much active. The material sense gratification attitude, the knowledge to have more and more sense gratification, how I can earn more, consume more, buy more, this knowledge is very active. But to serve Krishna, to go closer to Krishna, this knowledge is not active. So when we take the holy name, when we chant sincerely, what will happen? This will become inactive and this will become more and more active, right? So this activating the knowledge of how to serve Krishna, how to go closer to Krishna doesn't happen overnight. It is not that one day you sleep and you get up with the full knowledge that how to serve Krishna, how to go ahead and all. So that will not happen. It will happen gradually. Even for Srila Prabhupada, who is a Shaktavesha avatar, he was a empowered incarnation, and he is also a great devotee. For him also, there was no blueprint ready from the beginning. Every step he has discovered how to move ahead, and that's how he actually traveled throughout his journey. So for us also, there will be nothing clear what we want to do, what we have to do, and all, right? So Srila Prabhupada, in one of the purport, he says that a devotee may be perplexed, but he is never discouraged. So what does it mean? That a devotee may have a confusion. Okay, what service I should do? In what way I should serve Krishna? All these confusions may be there. But discouraged means I don't want to do service at all. So that will not be there in a devotee. So because of this, what will happen? The devotee fervently chants, right? With the prayerful mood, with the dependence on Krishna, he chants, and Krishna will deliver all the knowledge that is required. So he will make sure that when we take his name, the Vidya will get activated. So now during this journey, right, when we don't know how we can serve and all, what we can do, we can take up any service that is given by our seniors, and gradually we have to explore also, like, based on my psychophysical nature, what service I should do, right? Because just because someone is instructing, we cannot serve lifelong, right? We need to have some inclination with which we have to serve. That means we should try to pick up some service along with other instructions of our seniors, that service which we can do lifelong, even without someone telling us that, you have to do, you should do like that. No, whether someone tells or not, I will be happy doing it, right? So based on our psychophysical nature, there will be some things which we like, which we don't like. And we have to figure it out that in Krishna consciousness, since all the services that I can do for Krishna, what are matching with the things that I like. So if I like something, if I am good at something, that can be given in Krishna's service. That kind of thing we have to figure it out. Right. So based on our psychophysical nature, if imagine that you are good at singing, right? Okay, can I sing kirtans for Krishna? If you are good at reading books or studying the shastras, then you can use this service. You can study the shastras, you can give the lectures, you can preach. So some or other thing which you like and which is also useful in Krishna service, like that we have to figure it out. But during this figuring out process, we have to have faith. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada also, when he was traveling all his journey, he was not clear what is going to be next. Every step he has to go with faith. So when he reached America, he has wrote a song which is known as Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And in that, he says, in Bengali, he wrote, Baro Kripa Kaile Krishna Adharmera Prati, He Lagayanile Heta Koro Ebe Gati. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. And the next line he says, Ache kichu karja tabai anumane, nahe keno anibane e ugrasthane. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? So one is he's submitting to Krishna and he's telling, do whatever you want me to do. What you do, whatever you like. And then the second thing what he's telling is, I don't know why you brought me here, but you must be having any purpose to get me here. So I have faith in you. So you do whatever you want me to do. So this is the faith that we should also have, right? Because when the light goes off, we cannot just sit and wait for the light to come. Okay. If we still have some work to do, something is urgent, what we'll do? We will put on our torchlight in our mobile and we'll take small steps and we'll go ahead. So we cannot sit and wait that someday some service, some clarity will come, then only I will do. Till that time I will not do anything. Like that we cannot sit, right? We have to start exploring, we have to start taking some service, and then gradually Krishna will give all the knowledge, so that we can serve him. So just like how we depend on a torchlight and we have a faith, and with that faith we take one step, similarly we should have faith in our Krishna consciousness. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, there is a verse which says that Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa kahe, Shraddha Nishchaya, Sudrida Nishchaya, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hoye. Right? So when we serve Krishna, what will happen? So Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. So, what kind of service or what kind of faith that we want to have? That if I serve Krishna, everything else can be taken care. Okay, what I have to do, in what way I have to do, Krishna will reveal to me. So, when we have this faith, what will happen? Gradually this vidya will become active, right? So Harinam can activate our Vidya, but Harinam without faith cannot activate, isn't it? So we have to chant sincerely and we have to chant with love, right? When we call out the Lord with love and with sincerity, he will reciprocate. In Bhagavad Gita 10.10, he says, like, dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upayanti te. But before that, what he says, bhajatam priti purvakam tesham satata yuktana, right? So when we constantly chant and glorify him with the loving mood, then what will happen? He will provide all the knowledge, right? So vidya vadhu jivanam, it will enliven or it will manifest when we sincerely, lovingly chant the holy name. In the 10.11, he says, Jnana Deepena Bhasvate. I will remove the darkness from your heart by becoming a lamp of knowledge. All right. And even if we see in the 15.15, he is the source of knowledge. Mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Right. So everywhere it is connected. When we take Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. So whatever Krishna knows, he actually manifests that in our heart. Okay. So when we go with this, what will happen? Gradually we'll come to know how I should engage myself into the service of Krishna. The devotees like Srimati Radharani, Yashodamai, they know exactly what Krishna likes, what Krishna wants, and they know how to serve Krishna. But we are sadhana bhaktas, right? So we are not clear about what I should do, in what way I should do so that Krishna will be pleased. We have a desire to serve Krishna, but we don't know. So when we chant, what will happen? We will discover that, okay, this is the service I have to do. This is the way I have to do. These are the resources I have to use. Like that, our knowledge will develop. And gradually, what will happen when we serve Krishna? The Anyabhilashita will go and Anyabhilashita Shunyam. That stage we actually receive. See, in general, Vidya is two types. Okay. One is called as Laukika Vidya, that is material knowledge. And the another one is Para Vidya, that is transcendental knowledge. So generally, when people say, like, he's a knowledgeable person, we have to know whether he is talking about Laukika Vidya or Para Vidya. Some people might be very intelligent in doing material things only, but the real intelligence is like you should know what should be done for Krishna, right? It's not only knowing that how I can have sense gratification, how I can buy more, eat more, consume more. No, actually, how I can serve Krishna, that is the real knowledge. So sometimes when someone says he is knowledgeable, we should not feel like he has all the knowledge. Okay, he might have Laukika Vidya, but not Para Vidya. So when we take the holy name sincerely, lovingly, not only Laukika Vidya, okay, that automatically will be active, okay, but our Paravidya will be activated and we will come to know, okay, Krishna likes this. Okay, if I do this, Krishna will be pleased. In this way, I have to utilize all the resources. So this knowledge will be activated. In the spiritual energy, in the spiritual world, or the spiritual energies are categorized or expressed in three words, that is Sandhini, Samvit, and Ladini. So Sandhini Shakti means all the resources. Okay. And Samvit means the knowledge to utilize the resources. Then when we actually have the proper knowledge of how to utilize the resources, then what is the result? Ladini, that is pleasure. So when we have the resources, when we know the right path and right way to utilize those resources, what will be the result? Ladini. That means pleasure should come. But nowadays, or in our conditioned state, what is happening is we have the resources, but we don't have the knowledge of how to utilize these resources. That is why our knowledge and our resources are not giving us pleasure, but they are giving us misery. That is, Durga is coming out. So Srimati Radharani should come out. But what happens? The Bahiranga Shakti or the external energy, Durga is coming out, right? So, for example, when you have money, okay, when you use it for the service of Krishna, what will happen? You will get pleasure. And even if you remember that, if you try to memorize that after few years also, you will still feel happy for every donation that you did, every ounce of energy that you have utilized in the service of Krishna. You will feel happy, right? But imagine you have money and you have energy, but you have utilized in sense gratification, right? Over a period of time, what will happen? When you use it, at that time, you may feel some pleasure, some happiness, but it is only momentarily happiness, temporary. So after that, you will start feeling, oh, I would have invested somewhere else. I have wasted this money. right? So after a few years, you don't even remember it, right? You cannot experience that happiness which you had when you actually done that particular sense gratification. So what is happening is we all have resources in some or other way, some or other resources we have, but we do not have the knowledge of how to utilize our resources. And that is why most of the times misery will come out. Even we try to do something to be happy, but still we will become miserable. We will feel like if I buy this, if I achieve this, I will be happy. Yeah, for moments you will be happy. After that, what happens? That happiness will not stay you calm. It will tell, like, okay, this is okay now. Let us achieve that. Let us buy that. Let us get this. So it is always keep us running, and we'll never be satisfied. So only miseries are coming. But when we utilize all our knowledge, right, all the resources in serving Krishna, then what will happen? The Ladini will come out, right? So Srimati Radha and pleasure potency will come out and we will be happy. Even if you take an example of when we eat the favorite food that we have, sometimes the favorite food also we will start feeling like disgusting or irritated. Why? Because we ate too much, right? And we will feel like, for next 1 week or 10 days, at least I should not eat this. Like that, we will feel it. Okay. But if you utilize the same money to feed a needy person or a hungry person, that happiness, that satisfaction will actually stay for a very, very long time. You will not hate yourself or you will not get irritated for helping someone, right? But you will may get irritated or disgusted even by doing something sense gratifying for yourself. So what is happening? You had resources, all right, but you do not have, or you do not did not utilize it for a proper purpose. Then what will happen? The result is not pleasure, but the result is misery. So when we chant the holy name with lovingly, sincerely, what will happen is the right purpose for which our resources has to be utilized, that knowledge will awaken, and the ways and the means through which we can achieve some service, some result, that will actually be awakened, right? Our paravidya, the transcendental knowledge, will be awakened. Now why we compare this as a vadhu or a bride? Because Krishna is the purusha, he is the pati, okay, he is jagatpati, he is jagannath, so he is the husband, okay, and he will be there. Whenever he is there, who has to be there? The wife has to be there. Wherever there is husband, the wife will be there. So similarly, wherever Krishna is there, the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge will automatically will be there. So Bhakti Devi has two associates. One is Vairagya and Jnana. So when you do bhakti, this both will automatically develop, Jnana and Vairagya. If you compare your knowledge 6 months back or 1 year back and now, you yourself will see that, earlier I could not know all these things, but now I know many things, right? Earlier also I know that, I should not be angry, I should be good. But earlier the ways which I know to be good and to control my anger, and today the ways I know are entirely different. The meaning is different, the purpose is different, the ways which I take up now are very different, isn't it? So why it is different, why it is better? Because we've been chanting in last 6 months and 1 year, and that holy name is actually awakening our knowledge. Many times I tell people, if before you go for an important meeting or important conversation, or before you take any good decisions, you try to chant first sincerely, and then you decide what you want. Why? Because when we are not chanting, we are in the mode of ignorance or mode of passion, and in those modes we will take avidya purvak decisions only, right? In ignorance only we will take. But if you chant, what will happen? It will elevate us to goodness, and actually to pure goodness, to think about, okay, how it is going to benefit me. So in that way we can take a better decisions. Why? It will activate our vidya, so we will take decisions vidya purvak, right? Now it doesn't happen because you only chant once, right? Gradually, if you are chanting sincerely over a period of time, your decisions will be better, your conversations will be better, your meetings will go nicely and all, right? So why? Because the more we chant sincerely, the more the vidya will be awakened. So we see in Srila Prabhupada's case that, many times he has given amazing answers which no one has expected, right? Everyone thought that some of the questions will land up into some controversies or some kind of, heated talk or some kind of argument, some kind of bitter experiences. But many times Prabhupada actually given such an amazing answers that everyone was like astonished. One day what happened, a person who was sitting in the group of assembly in a class, so he asked Prabhupada, can God make a mountain so heavy that he himself cannot lift? Then Prabhupada was like, what kind of question is this? But then he thought for a while and he said the answer. But before sharing his answer, now let us try to understand the gravity of this question. The question is like, can God make a mountain so heavy that the God himself, who is the creator, cannot lift it? So if Prabhupada says there cannot be such mountain, then the person will say, you said God can create anything, then why can't God create this? If Prabhupada says yes, he can create, then he will counter argument will be like, how come God is so great, but yet he cannot lift what he has created, isn't it? So it was like, contradictory in both ways. But then Srila Prabhupada has given an amazing answer. What he said, yes, God can create a heavy mountain which he himself cannot lift. But after creating, he will lift it very easily also. So he said he can create, he said he can lift also. Because in one avatar, he may create one mountain, which that avatar cannot lift, but he can come in a different avatar and he can lift it. Isn't so? Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. So Prabhupada has given so intelligently answer why he was able to give it, because the holy name and the faith in the holy name, the sincerity, the love that he shows towards Krishna, his Vidya is so much awakened, so much enlivened that it can give such answers. One day, Allen Ginsberg, who was also a hippie, but he was actually leading, he was a very influential person. So that person also was following Srila Prabhupada in certain way, right? And in that day, one person asked, one reporter, he asked like, is Allen Ginsberg is your disciple or follower? So then, if Prabhupada says, no, he is not a disciple, he is not a follower, then Allen Ginsberg will feel bad because he's following Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? If he says, like, yes, he is my disciple, he is my follower, then the reporter may say, see, Allen Ginsberg is doing so many things which you are not telling him, which you told him to avoid. So, how do you deal with that? So, some or other way that can create some controversy because Allen Ginsberg was following but not following all the rules and regulations, right? So then Srila Prabhupada has to give certain answer which can satisfy both the reporter and Allen Ginsberg and without raising any controversy. So rather than giving yes or no, Prabhupada gave a wonderful answer. What is the point of disciple or a follower? Actually, I am the servant of everyone. So there is no question who is my disciple or follower. I am the servant of everyone. मैं सबका सेवक हूँ. So Prabhupada expressed his mood as I am the servant of the servant to preach this Krishna consciousness, which is also true, right? But in that situation, this answer befitting perfectly because it is not hurting anyone. And at the same time, it is inspiring Allen Ginsberg. It is inspiring the interviewer. It is inspiring everyone who hears the answer, right? See the mood of Prabhupada, how humble he is, right? So, how come Prabhupada is able to give such wonderful answers which are elevating everyone's consciousness? Because his Vidya is very awakened, right? So, we see all these devotees, they know exactly how to serve Krishna, and they discovered this through a lot of exploration by having faith in their journey, right? So similarly, this sadhana bhakti that we are doing, if we do it sincerely over a period of time, we will also awaken this knowledge fully, right? There is material knowledge, there is spiritual knowledge, this is transcendental knowledge, right? But to awaken that, we need to do this practice. So the more we practice with love and sincerity, what will happen is we will exactly understand, okay, this is the way I have to do it, this is the service I have to do it. Initially we have lot of perplexity, lot of confusion, what to do, what not to do. People may not support us, things may go wrong and all, but we should not lose faith, right? Because every devotee has to go through all this before he becomes a pure devotee. Before we become a pure devotee, we have to become a devotee, and from this devotee to pure devotee journey will involves so many things. But throughout the journey, if we have faith, then definitely this wife, which is like Vidya, will get awakened. And as long as we are holding on to the Krishna, that is husband, the wife will definitely manifest. So why we say Vidya Vadhu Jivanam? Because Vidya, that wife, Vadhu, will get enlivened whenever she hears Krishna's name, right? Sometimes we see that, we feel sick, we feel weak, and we lay down on our bed, okay, and we feel like no energy. The other people who are seeing us also, they might say like, oh, he's sleeping like a dead person, right? He's looking like a very weak, right, almost gone case. But suddenly, if we meet someone, right, let us say we are sitting in and laying down our bed, and someone whom we love comes to see us, then what happens? Suddenly, some enthusiasm, some energy will actually come into us. And by seeing we conversating with that loving person actively, the others who saw us like lying like dead, they also get astonished. They will say like, "Arey, just few minutes back you were sleeping like a dead person. Now suddenly, where did you got this energy?" Isn't it? So that is called enlivened, right? So the life comes in our life when we take the holy name, right? So our vidya is there, but it is lying dead. Now when the Krishna comes, then what will happen? It will enliven. Just like we become enthusiastic and energetic when a loving person comes to meet us, to talk to us, right? Similarly, Krishna will awake our vidya, right? It will actually infuse life into our vidya. So vidya vadhu jivanam will happen when we take the holy name sincerely. The more we take it, the more this liveliness will be there. And we need a lot of liveliness, because to go out of this material world, like to liberate for ourselves from this material world, a lot of vidya is required. So that is why we should chant sincerely, lovingly, and we should have a faith that, yeah, today I'm not a great devotee, right? I'm trying to be a devotee, but over a period of time, I know that the same holy name will make me a pure devotee. And I have seen Srila Prabhupada, I have seen the Acharyas, I have seen the Goswamis and all, and they had the same holy name. And with that, they have become so great. So this process and this holy name will definitely give me all that knowledge that is required, and I will also become a Shuddha Bhakta one day. So this faith has to be there. And with that, we have to continue our journey. So how it is more enlivening and more features of this holy name, that we will see in the further classes. So we have done with Vidyavadu Chivanam, and we have done with Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam and Chetu Darpanam Arjanam. So in the coming classes, maybe on Thursday, we will see that uh, what is that? Pura Shreha Kairava Chandrika Vitranam Vidyavatu Jinamam Anandambudi Vardhanam. That is what we will see on the Thursday's class. Okay. Thank you so much. Shri Shri Shikshashtakam ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.